Nick's ability, like just as a broadcaster, his talent is like legendary. I mean, he's second to none. Maybe there are some tied with him, but like Tim Dillon's ability to just rant into a camera. Nick Fuentes has that level of ability. And so there is a part of it too where you watch all of these guys you know, freak out, but you're like, look, man, the kid's really good at what he does. He represents a lot of people. He was deplatformed for having views that actually a lot of people have.
Dave Smith goes off on Theo Von's podcast about how good Nick Fuentes is. Like him or not, he is a great broadcaster. He's a great personality, and a lot of people carry the same views that Nick does, and that's exactly what Dave says. He has great stuff in this clip, so make sure you stay tuned. We're going to watch the entire thing. It's incredible. But in the meantime, I'm Jared Wright. This is The Right Wing. And make sure you follow. Make sure you hit the buttons down below the video. Like, subscribe, notification bell, because I post this content every single day for you so that you can see what is happening in the world. I make it so easy. Hit the buttons down below. Let's dive into the rest of this clip. See exactly what Dave and Theo have to say.
From doing stand-up comedy, so you know, I know you know too, it's like you develop a bit of an eye for talent. And that doesn't even mean like, it's not a question of whether like you agree or disagree or whether they're your favorite comic or not your favorite comic. Like, but you could love really edgy, really filthy comedy and you'd still go, Nate Bargatze's a beast of a talent. You know what I mean? Like you just recognize talent.
Yes.
He's very good at what he does. I mean, and Nick's ability, like just as a broadcaster, his talent is like legendary. I mean, he's second to none. Maybe there are some tied with him, but like Tim Dillon's ability to just rant into a camera. Nick Fuentes has that level of ability. And so there is a part of it too where you watch all of these guys you know, freak out, but you're like, look, man, the kid's really good at what he does. He represents a lot of people. He was deplatformed for having views that actually a lot of people have. And also there's just, look, like there's nuance to a lot of this shit. I think that being racist.
And where was he deplatformed from? From YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube. He was kicked off Twitter. He was kicked off like everything at one point. I'm not sure what he's back on now.
Yeah,
but
and I don't know a lot of the stuff that he's, you know, I don't know a lot of the things that he said. I mean, I know I've heard him say the N-word. I've heard him say
he's definitely said that.
Some other stuff, but some of the N-word clips go hard, dude. I'll be honest with you. And dude, some of them I've seen black people
loving them,
do mashups and loving them.
Well, there's always been something weird. There's always been a real weird dynamic about how being offended by words or jokes or words is such a white chick thing, but they project that onto black people. But actually black people, because I've known a few of them, are like the least offended people ever. Like, you know, it's just, so there's a weird dynamic there too. Also,
This is very true. A lot of black people watch Nick's content and love him. There's a going like thought that the Groyper army is all brown. Does it really matter in the long run? Not necessarily, but black people love Nick. They love his content because he speaks the truth and he's not afraid to say things. Getting offended is such a stupid thing. That's what Dave says here. It's so stupid. It's such like a white girl chick flick thing. Oh my God, I'm going to get so offended. No, we're not doing that. It's okay to speak your mind, and it's good to speak your mind. If we believe in freedom of speech and being able to say what we think, we want to create a spirit of that across the nation, in which even on platforms that maybe have the say to cancel somebody like YouTube and Spotify has done to Nick, they don't, because they believe in people being able to speak and say what they mean. Make crude jokes. Who cares? That's what they're talking about. Let's keep watching the clip.
So, and I'll say, maybe this will be a real controversial thing to say at the end, but I do think that we've lived under a world order for a long time where being a bigot is the worst thing in the world. It's like the worst thing you can be is racist, you know? And part of that is because you know, we live in the world order that defeated the Nazis. And so the biggest villain of all time is viewed as the racist, and the greatest liberator of all time are viewed as the anti-racist. And the biggest villain in the religion of modern America, like the devil is Adolf Hitler and Jesus is Martin Luther King. That's kind of like the way popular, you know, the culture is constructed. I think that there is actually a lot more nuance to bigotry, and that everybody has a bit of bigotry in them. But I think that America it is true to some degree that Americans have been replaced by immigration policy from their government. America went from being a 90% majority white Christian country to now being, it's like in the 50s percentage, and may even be a majority minority country in the next couple decades. And then white people might ultimately be a minority in this country going forward.
And the mainstream media demonized whites.
This was done against the will of the domestic population. No, there was never a referendum on open borders and massive racial change in America because it would have failed. No, the country wouldn't have supported it. And there is going to be a group of people, not just white people, but there are going to be a group of people who wish that America remain majority white. And that doesn't mean you have to hate black people, or that doesn't mean you have to hate Muslims or hate Latin American or Latino people or whatever. It's like, there's nuance between, there's a view where you go, hey, I want America to remain majority white because that's kind of what America's always been, and I want it to continue being what America's always been. That doesn't mean I want to reinstitute slavery or have a genocide 100%. Or something
and
like that.
And if you're a white person, you're like, well, what the fuck? I don't exist.
Why am I supposed to root for my own destruction?
Yeah, I don't have a place to exist at. Fuck that, dude.
Well, it would be crazy to go.
I'm just so sick of like, there's just so, it's like, yeah, it's just so sick of white people are always the bad people. I'm sick of your movies of white people are always the bad people. And that's one of the things that's craziest about the genocide stuff. It's like, well, now you have a group of people, you have Israel and their government that has set the bar for who the new bad people are.
Dude, they act like it's anything but. Like it's anything. Dude, I was listening. Mark Levin gave a speech about the rise of anti-Israel sentiment and anti-Semitism. And he doesn't mention the genocide. Like as if that's not a part of it. It's like everything. It's like you mentioned everything except
that's the part of it.
There's this one tiny detail you're missing, which is that you committed a genocide in 4K.
They bring up some really, really good points across the entire podcast. It's a great podcast. I like Dave. He's a Jew, by the way. I like Theo. He's funny. He's getting into the real world stuff. But they bring up some incredible points. How is it that I am supposed to be okay with the demise of my race as a white man, and yet I'm called some sort of like hateful white supremacist because I'm proud to be white? Are you proud to be black? Is your neighbor proud to be black or Hispanic or whatever he is? There's nothing wrong with being proud of heritage. Heritage is a good thing. It's actually a beneficial thing. So why are we trying to like push it off and say, no, you can't be proud to be white because you're white? In all reality, at this point in time, white people are the minority worldwide. We're down to 7% of the population, white people. I mean, I'm not trying to be hateful here, but I think that's a problem. In 40 years, we went from 30% to 7%. That's a major issue, right? And so we have to figure this out. America was founded on essentially white European immigrants coming here, Western culture coming to America and setting up a nation in which people were Christian and they had freedom to worship the Christian God as they chose. And now it's turned into this thing where we're hardly even a white majority anymore, which leads to issues with integrating different cultures. If you ship in Indians from everywhere, if you ship in the Chinese, you ship in the African nations like Somalia, you bring up Mexicans from Mexico or different Hispanic nations. That's not saying that they're bad people per se, but they're not going to integrate into a white European Western society very well because that's not what they have. Maybe 3, 4, 5 generations down the road. Now, if you want to have immigrants, it's important that they actually integrate. They have to integrate. How do you justify this? How do you say that? Well, how about Ruth in the Bible? Ruth was an immigrant to the land, but she comes in and you know what she says to her mother-in-law? After her husband's died, her mother-in-law said, no, go back to your people, go find you another husband. And she says, no, I'm with your people now. Your God will be my God. Your people will be my people. I will fully become a part of your society and what it means. 4 generations later, you get King David born through the line of Ruth and Boaz. It's one of the most incredible stories in the Bible when you understand the context of it. Ruth was an immigrant, but she integrated. We don't see that much in America. We see people bringing their own cultures to things. That's not good. It's not good for America. It's the demise of America. Now we've just become a collection of lots of different cultures that don't mesh well together, and then you wonder why there's so much violence everywhere. And outside of this, they're speaking to freedom of speech a lot here about Nick, about different figures who are kind of crude sometimes, but it's funny. You're lying if you don't think that Nick is funny. You just want to be popular and want to have like an opinion. Oh my God, Nick is so awful. Nick's hilarious. He's one of the funniest people on the planet. If he wasn't a political commentator, he'd probably be a comedian in some way. He really is a comedian in a lot of ways on his show. That's kind of what he does. And most of the little bitty clips that people take trying to demonize Nick are clips of him being funny. It's not even serious clips. It's clips of him just trying to make a joke. And people take it as if this is gospel. It's so stupid. It's such a stupid world we live in. But I'm happy people like Dave and Theo joke about it and will talk about it and bring these things up because it needs to be talked about. It needs to be. And if you're like me and you're thinking these things, you need to follow along on the channel. I'm Jared Wright. This is The Right Wing, and I post this content every single day. Hit the follow, subscribe, like, all the buttons down below so that you can see this content and we can slowly change the world because that's what this is about. I hope you have a great day.